What's up? What's happening?
And welcome back to an all-new episode of DMT Reviews. I am, of course, your host, Sam Butler, with my co-host, Jack Anderson.
Hello.
And, buddy, we're going to try something different this week.
I'm excited.
You want to tell the people what we're going to do?
So, we figure, the way we do reviews is basically a commentary through our own memorization of the film or the show, right?
Yeah.
So, and we've done a commentary in the past, and that went pretty well, Avengers Endgame, right? So, we've been sitting here, we've been thinking, okay, we spice things up, right? And why don't we just do the review with the commentary? That's what we're doing here. We're not breaking down theories and stuff like that. We're just having fun and sharing our opinions. And this will keep us on track. It'll help us get through the whole episode, not lose trains of thought and stuff like that. And we get to watch the show again.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's entirely it. It's somewhat of a quasi Mystery Science Theater style.
Yeah, a little bit.
We'll chirp, we'll get our jabs in and whatnot, but we also don't expect you guys to be hitting play on the episode and want this to be the director's commentary basically track of it. I mean, just enjoy us going through it.
Though if you do want to watch it with us, we're happy.
By all means.
Please. It's worth the watch. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Even the bad ones.
Exactly. And today we're reviewing episode 1 of What If.
Not one of the bad ones. One of the great ones.
One of the great ones.
Yeah, I am so stoked.
What if... I can't remember the title. What is it? What if she became Captain Carter?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. What if she was the first Avenger or something?
Oh, yeah. What if Captain Carter was the first Avenger? That's
right.
The name of it.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. They're on the money with that. And, just after watching it yesterday when it aired, I got to say, buddy, I am just absolutely ecstatic at what's to come next. But more so, it was very, very fun to revisit the world of the First Avenger after 10 years.
Yeah, no, what I think the episode did really
breathed
well.
new life into that World War II era.
Exactly, because, what I think the episode did really well was it kept a lot of what we loved about the First Avenger and a lot of that just, reminiscence of the time when we first saw it, which is a long time ago, 10 years ago now.
Right.
But it also did its own thing in a lot of ways. Like
100%.
it didn't directly copy the plot of the First Avenger. It literally branched out into a multiverse,
Right. Well, without further ado,
Welcome to the dance floor, boys.
let's get into it.
Nice. Don Cheadle, I wish you were in this.
I know, but we got quasi Iron Man.
That's right. I bet Donnie Cheadle will be in a What If at some point.
Yeah.
Maybe not this season, but
Let's go ahead and fire this bitch up.
oh, let's see. Disney Plus original, already the best thing I've ever watched.
Already.
What If Captain Carter were the first Avenger? And that was something that I picked up too, right when I saw the title. I was like, oh yeah, this means that she in this universe is Captain America.
Yes.
She is the first Avenger.
She is.
When we get to Avengers in this universe, she will be Cap. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Which is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Which I would be just violently interested to see if they could do a what if these Avengers happened like that.
I feel like it'll all kind of come together. Also, because the logo transition to animation at the end, because it's their first animated product. I love the animation of this. I think it looks great.
And I love the opening title sequence here with Jeffrey Wright narrating it. And we get these animated versions. It started with Black Panther. You got to start with Black Panther.
Got to start with BP. Absolutely.
That's how the Marvel fanfare ends now, is with him slamming down the explosion in the end of Black Panther.
Every time. Like, these characters have become so iconic. Like, these uniforms always were, but now, like, the movie versions of them, I mean, you get that when you're watching the fanfare at the beginning, but like seeing it now and seeing them animated and all this different stuff and hearing Jeffrey Wright basically explaining, I see everything, I don't touch it, right?
Yep.
And this is, in my perspective, infinity, like this is, everything can happen.
Oh yeah. And I mean, they had to just fucking sit on this show until Loki finished airing, because now all these branches are open. This isn't just what if, it's like what is on this different timeline.
Exactly. Now we're in a macro perspective of what the Marvel multiverse is.
Right. And here we are, starting it up. Earth, 1943.
Nice, basic, easy introduction of what happened with Hydra and all that different stuff. And I love how we're picking up what I really loved about this right off the bat was that they started in the movie, right? It's basically, Peggy makes a decision in this that she didn't make in First Avenger, but like it's the same moment. And then what goes on from there.
Right.
It's not like an entirely different reality.
Everything that happened in the First Avenger happened up until this point where he's supposed to get into the capsule.
Yep. He talked about getting beat up in the alleys.
Yep.
He got yelled at by Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, except it's not Tommy Lee Jones in this universe. It's General Flynn, played by Bradley Whitford.
Yeah. What does he say about Godzilla? Zilla.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, Zilla. He's a snarky countdown guy, as Ryan George called him.
He is a
snarky countdown guy. He makes snarky remarks, and most of the time he's just counting down to something.
He's like the perfect, B-list replacement guy. You know what I mean? You always like him. He's not going to be your main character.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just the tiny divergent in this story is that they're not up in the booth.
Yep.
And then Richard Armitage's character decides to pop it off before they even started the experiment and prove that it was a success.
Yeah. Which I think they did
Tommy Lee Jones' character just got shot.
They make a really interesting point too in this of, making it, what a woman in the 1940s becoming Captain America.
Oh, right. Especially in that culture.
And you would have to think her being like, oh, I'm not going to the booth. All the men were like, oh, we're not either. You know? And like, that's why they're all there. Yeah. Which, I always, just from the First Avenger perspective, one of my favorite lines in it is, wouldn't it be more comfortable up in the booth?
Up in the booth?
Up in the booth. Here she goes. She's seeing the capsule,
Yeah. God, I love Haley Atwell.
I
want to see her in more stuff. She needs
to be more
signed
famous.
on for the next 2 Mission Impossible movies.
Nice.
So we'll get more Haley Atwell.
I love Haley Atz. Hey Atz.
Except this animation does kind of make her look like Natalie Portman.
A little bit. Yeah. But you get her voice, and that's what you need.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. Serum's in.
Same. And I love, just the way Howard Stark is in this.
I know,
too.
and I'm so happy they got Dominic Cooper back. I love Dominic Cooper's Howard Stark.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just love him, like playing Jesse Custer in Preacher is amazing.
And I think what's interesting too is
real quick, Josh Keaton doing a dead spot on impression of Chris Evans. That's like unrecognizable, the difference.
Yeah, I got like the Iron Man guy. I'm a little worried about just because RDJ is so iconic. But this was not a problem at all. Oh, she's a beast.
Oh yeah.
Big buff Peggy.
Yep.
Yeah, she grow like a foot.
Yeah, but not in a grotesque way. She's still sexy as hell.
Oh, dude, I mean, look at those delts, though. Oh, geez. And I love her being Captain America now. Just like with Howard Stark specifically, gives him. He's just more familiar with her, right? Mm-hmm. So it's not like Steve being like, "Oh, this is the rich guy that I." No, she's like, we have a relationship. Yep. Howard can help her more, and they use that in the episode, which I appreciate.
Yep, 100%.
There she is, getting poked, getting prodded,
taking the blood out.
Yeah. She's and then too with her, she's a military person in this world, right? Like Steve is still basically a civilian. He has the right motivation, he has the right mindset to do it, but she has served for X number of years. Like getting pushed around like this isn't going to work.
This perspective, it's coming from the angle that it's like, regardless, like she's a woman and like, Steve was able to turn it around.
Yeah.
Like everyone was just discrediting him because he was skinny, but they're discrediting her because she has a vagina and titties.
Exactly. Well, those 40 vagina titties.
But it's just like, look at that.
Yeah.
Like 45-pound plates stuck in the wall.
And I love how, one, great callback to the Avengers here.
Yep.
The punching bag sequence. That's why I bought a punching bag that I never used. Gotta mean swing. And she has done that clearly upwards of 30 times.
Yes.
Which means she is upset.
Right.
What do you think about Steve being basically the war machine here, getting paralyzed?
I dig it.
Yeah, me too.
I really dig it. And I mean, he ends up being able to walk his alone later, but
That's right.
I mean, for now, he does need the prosthesis of the what is it called, the Hydra Stomper, right?
Yeah. The Iron Mongol type thing. Yeah.
They should. I just really wish they pushed his ears a little bit closer to his head. I mean, he looks like Fievel. Fievel goes west.
Cartoon facial features are tricky.
Tricky, yeah.
Very tricky. Oh, Hydra. The timeline of this was a wee bit confusing.
The Red Skull has been indulged long enough.
Because that scene happens at the beginning of First Avenger, right?
Right away. And then they just like do the quick cuts of the shit where it's like, that this change in who's the super soldier does not affect anything that Schmidt does.
Yeah,
exactly.
But it's interesting, because I guess it's just, one, I mean, from a practical level. Also, Ross Marquand, he is now the Red Skull.
The definitive Red Skull.
Mm-hmm. Hugo Weaving, get out of here.
And he does a great Hugo impression.
He really does.
Yeah.
No, he nails it, and he really, kind of owns this character for as brief of lines as Red Skull really gets in this.
Yeah.
He does a really good job.
Captain Carter! I'm a big fan of
your films.
your body, because she didn't make any movies.
That
She
is
didn't
true.
go on the USO tour.
Oh man!
Oh my
and then
God.
here she is. She's getting involved. Howard's like, "What are we doing? We gotta take care of this, right?"
Exactly.
Because does the Tesseract kind of spark them to get this going in the First Avenger? Isn't that what happens? Is he gets the Tesseract and they're like, "Okay, we need to get this moving." Or no, I think it's just kind of all happening at the same time.
They don't really find out about the Tesseract until they do the whole thing where they raid the bunker at the end and it's getting picked up and put into the plane.
Yeah. You're right.
Oh wait, no. They get the Tesseract, remember? Because Howard does the. Oh no. They get the little power source that Steve picked up from the factory the first time when he rescued Bucky.
The clicker.
Yeah.
The
So that's
Zippo
why
lighter.
he wasn't able to adapt it into a suit, was because he didn't have the thing itself until the very end of the movie.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Oh, here she goes. She got her
She
suit.
got a new costume. She got a new shield.
Did he mention? I missed the subtitles. Did he mention that he was going to make that for her costume?
Yeah, her USO thing, but he made some modifications.
And then they were like, "Nah, fuck it. You're not going to be a monkey on a unicycle. You're getting into the shit."
Right.
Here we go.
How do you like that
Heaving
they got
shield.
Toby Jones in to do 2 lines?
Great. Probably got paid a shit ton of money.
Scheisse.
Yeah, Toby Jones is the most repeat one-line person in the MCU. You know what I
Really,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he definitely but he has one scene in Winter
You
Soldier.
are out of time.
All right, so this is the point.
This is the action.
The show.
Let's talk about this opening action sequence. They're
So
doing
great.
it. Is this like the Parthenon or something like that? Or is this England?
I think.
Or it's probably France.
Yeah, it's probably France. Yeah, because I recognize that.
Switch to
structure.
French. Girl's much cuter.
It's a great line. But yeah, no, the thing with this that it made me realize, if First Avenger had the combat from Winter Soldier and Civil War and what Cap eventually became, if he was doing this kind of shit during First Avenger and they had just a little bit more World War II on the battlefield kind of stuff, look at her with this shield.
Yeah.
This is peak Captain America fighting. This is exactly
This is Russo brother techniques.
This is what turned Cap around for a lot of people. People hated Cap, and then Winter Soldier comes by. He's fighting like she is right now, and people are like, "Oh, he's my favorite."
Right.
And if they had done that, I really think First Avenger, who knows, it might have cracked into my top 5. you know? Oh,
So she
breaks
punched his fucking leg right backwards.
I mean, Marvel is trying to get as close to R-rated while still being PG-13 that they can.
Well, it's like you said last week. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when they go full R-rated.
Exactly. And it's going to happen. Oh, and it's going to be great.
And I feel like because they do fly it under the banner of Marvel Studios, they absolutely can. Because it even though it is a Disney property, a Disney-owned studio, they never fucking say Disney until the last thing in the end of the credits.
Yep.
You know, so it's like, go right ahead. Marvel, I watched Punisher Warzone, right? That was when they were doing it, First Punisher, Blade, all those R-rated Marvel movies were under a studio offshoot called Marvel Knights. and that was just like, this is for the adult properties. It's like, well, they could do that again.
Yeah,
Just say
easily.
Marvel Knights.
I think something they're gonna do. Well, they have the potential to do. Oh, they're holding hands. Just getting the right partner.
You owe me a dance.
You owe me a dance. That's how it. Oh my gosh! It's just now that we've seen that arc fulfilled, it makes me so emotional.
Right.
Also, her just like jogging up next to this guy. Like I'm like, she could have ran the whole way.
This is nice. Can I have a go? Yeah, she could have run the whole way, but then,
But she's got to do
what
this.
she does here, jumps through the fence and
love-
then whips it up into the bunker.
I
Like,
love
dude.
how she uses the motorcycle.
I know.
It's great. I just want
Like
to
that.
see.
Just kick it right through and blow up the entire machine gun nest.
Yeah, I want to see Haley Atwell do this.
I
you
know. I mean, that's my thing, but they're not going to throw the budget at that. They'll just animate it.
Exactly. Well, and I've been thinking about this a lot just from writing. Like the freedom of animation. You kind of sacrifice something because there's a level of realism to it being in live action, but
they're trying to ground this animation better.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not supposed to be goofy and silly.
And it helps that the actors are doing the voices. Like now, Sebastian Stan is Bucky Barnes. You know what I mean? Like
Neil
if you hear-
McDonough is
there's
Dum
the
Dum Dugan.
shot. There's the pew pew pew.
Walking through with the pistol and the
That's
shield.
right, the shotgun
And the Howling Commandos.
Dum Dum Dugan.
Dum Dum Dugan.
But yeah, I was gonna say going back to R-rated Marvel movies coming out, because the argument was always, well, kids love the movies and you have to see all of them to understand what's going on. And I think now that the Avengers is over, oh, here comes Steve.
Rogers inbound. Steve Rogers. Now look at him. He's looking like a militarized Tony Stark's first suit.
That's right. I think it's cool too that this is basically implying that Howard had always been working on the Iron Man suit.
Yeah, he'd had the idea.
Because he didn't just think of this after Peggy became Cap. He
You know what?
found a power source.
That
to
actually
do it.
would have been kind of a cool Easter egg to have in the First Avenger at the World Fair thing that they went to. Is
suit.
just in the background, just have a suit that's a prototype that's not even near close to being completed.
Very rough.
And
very...
Tony just kept that in his mind as like, this was one of the goofier things my dad came up with, but with the right power source, the arc reactor, it totally fuck shit up.
what he's doing right there. You know. But going back, so I don't think Marvel is going to have to connect things. I think after Loki and, Doctor Strange and Spider-Man are all going to play into this, but I think for the most part, it's not going to be as intertwined as it used to be.
Yeah, it's not going to be as serialized where you have to watch everything. That's why I was just like to my dad, I'm like,
I mean,
showing
Loki,
him Loki
stands on its own, really, in a lot of ways. And if they
we just finished that, and I'm like, all right, now going forward, I don't think you'll have to watch everything to get what's going on.
Exactly. Even this show, it helps to have seen everything. It's fun. Oh, this fucking guy taking all the credit.
Of course.
And saying, oh, yeah, I knew about Peggy the whole time. Yeah. Look at this combat. You know what I mean? Just look at the way she's able to, jump around and throw the shield. And it's so badass. You just
hello
can't get
from
enough of it.
Brooklyn. He has to throw Brooklyn in there.
It's a weird thing. It's a weird. We're coming up to one of my flaws in this episode.
Oh
real
yeah,
quick.
and I think I know what you're gonna
You
say.
know exactly what it is. Boom, awesome. Why didn't he go?
Why
to
didn't
the
he go to the propeller?
That's the Captain America.
That is one of the
move.
most significantly moments in the First Avenger was the propeller.
The propeller, the blood, the everything. That was
the
the
fact
moment.
that she didn't turn this guy into just a body blender, a
Eviscerate
body
his
smoothie.
existence. Yeah.
He's just a human smoothie.
This air scene was so cool when I first watched it. I was like, oh my God. Because is it a one shot? It looks like a one shot, the way it kind of flows.
Yeah.
And she's diving.
It
and she's
flowed
going.
pretty smoothly.
Yeah, and I think Black Widow did a really good job of it too when they're falling from the Red Room, and there's a lot of that kind of in the sky combat. I think if it's done well, it's really exciting stuff. Yeah, it's really exciting.
I should have played the Red Skulls indulged long enough for this scene.
Oh yeah, do it. The Tesseract,
Evidently not.
almost right on point.
Almost there.
The true champion.
What about me? Where will I sit?
Just that musical cue, trying to make you feel like Zola is like this pitiful character, where
So
he's one of the
sad.
most sinister scientists in the entire history of
Terrible.
the world.
At first, I was like, why does Red Skull have a Luger here? Why doesn't he have the thing? And I was like, oh, yeah, because they lost
They
the
didn't get the Tesseract, yeah.
That's right. Yeah, but I love how too and this goes back to Peggy having been in the military and Steve, not like she had like
immediately
gets it.
Exactly. She had ideas for objectives, knew exactly what to do, what to look for, execute it, and just get that Tesseract out of there.
Yep.
Steve is this fucking actor, glorified actor,
fucking monkey on a unicycle, dude. poor Steve.
How did you feel?
I bet you know, dude. Did you know in another universe?
In another timeline, another branch.
And then you're gonna get frozen for 70 years.
Which, I mean, what they did with this climax coming up, fucking interesting as hell. I mean, it conjured the same effect as, the ending of First Avenger, but totally different.
Totally, yep.
Wildly cool.
I think that this show could potentially be building like its own kind of like Avengers universe,
which would be fucking cool.
I think so. I mean, like,
but I mean, judging that this is based off the comics, it's all gonna be one shot
just
stuff,
one off,
yeah. Because
but can you?
I've only read one What If comic, and it's like, what if Deadpool got Venom? And it was really funny. Ooh. Venom Pool is such an asshole, dude.
Yeah, of course. I don't know.
Like, Venom got fed up with how crazy Deadpool was and left him to go find Spider-Man in that comic.
That's pretty great. So this part here, again, I'm just way too much reading into it. But, if Zola's not on that train, what are they going for?
Oh, they're trying to capture the suit.
The suit?
Steve's suit. That was the entire point of this ploy, was to capture Steve's suits because it got the Tesseract in it.
But why are Peggy and crew incentivized to take on this train?
Well, they probably were fed false data about, that Schmidt was on it or something like that.
They just got fooled. You mean Max Greenfield?
Max Greenfield, yes.
Oh, man, look at them go. Zip lining down. That just you have to get that so right. Also, homage, a couple homages. Almost ripped my arm off.
Almost ripped my arm
Bucky
off.
Almost fell. We all love it. Inside
I
baseball.
was after this sequence, I was like half worried and expecting for Steve to become the Winter Soldier. But if they do a follow-up to it, I bet you that's what happens.
I could see it.
I bet you that's what happens.
I could see it. Because, at this part, I kind of figured.
Because how heartbreaking would that be? I mean, talk about two besties.
Lovers.
Two lovers.
That never got to explore their love.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I like at this scene, I was like, oh, okay, Steve's probably going to die here, right? Like, he's going to be the Bucky. He has to be, and this is such a big part. Again, this movie or this show doesn't directly do First Avenger, but it pays enough of an homage to it.
There's enough set pieces from that movie.
Mm-hmm. Like, I'll be so fascinated to see T'Challa in Guardians, right? Like, how much of Guardians of the Galaxy do they do with it?
Is he a child of ego, or did Yondu just go like, I want one of those?
I went to the wrong continent. Oops.
Let's just take somebody.
Yeah, let's grab one. I don't know. Who's out in a field right now?
Yeah.
The Hydra Stomper
was indestructible.
Yeah, you can't stomp Hydras. They're giant serpents, They're far too large to be stomped.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And cut off one head, two more grow.
Or take its place, you know what I mean? And if you're just doing stomping, you're going to hurt your hip at a certain point, Fralankata. Is that what captain is in German?
No, it's miss.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fucking patronizing son of a bitch.
Frau is Mrs. Fraulein is unmarried, so it's Ms. Yeah,
I see. Ms., Mrs., and Ms. are. I feel like those. Why don't we just do Miss? MS. It always works.
Yeah.
Because that's the one that's like for anybody, right?
Yeah. No, it's for single.
It is for single, but what about Ms. MISS?
I have no clue what that one's about because
contrarians.
Yeah, because every teacher that we had was unmarried, like Ms. Tipton.
Mm-hmm.
That's
true.
And then she got married and became Mrs. And then Mrs. Tripp was Ms. something before that. My sister had her before she was married.
Interesting.
I can't remember her name though. It's okay.
Yeah. Oh, look at the
Let's do it.
Howling
For
Commandos.
Rogers.
For Rogers.
Hey, Rogers.
What do you think of the Howling Commandos, Sam? I think it's an unexplored part of Marvel lore. Let's make a TV show about them.
Let's make a TV show where the Howling Commandos and the Warriors 3
collide.
and they have to go on missions in World War II and Asgard.
Can you imagine if Steve jumped like this? I mean,
Right?
He could get so much more done.
Well, yeah, and it's like
Oof. Like they're so close to
Joe Johnston got the job done.
Yes.
He got the job done. But he lacked the vision of the potential of how fucking savage a super soldier could be.
Yes.
They were just like, oh, we'll just make it so that he doesn't get shot, basically, and he can throw the shield.
Well, to the credit of doing a Howling Commando show, like, because I know, what was it? Agent Carter was a show, and they were in it and whatnot, but like, you can just, but that was more like post-World War II development of S.H.I.E.L.D. I would love to see these guys just like on the battlefield, World War II. I just like, that is such a rich just backdrop for a movie.
Right.
You know, Saving Private Ryan is the obvious example.
Yeah.
But I mean, even Call of Duty,
Well, and that's the thing is like Steve went in the ice in 1943. That's 2 more years of the war that those guys fought.
Yeah, exactly. And like,
I would be down for that.
what are the implications of and like it could be Peggy's show, like it doesn't. I mean, it's them, it's her getting in the trenches. Bucky's gone. All this different stuff, and it could just be like a really grounded human Marvel property with characters that people are familiar with. I don't know.
100%.
Let's make it. Look at them go busting in. Oh dear.
Now, this makes me wonder, did they have this portal thing as their backup plan?
Yeah. Yeah, was that always
plan B?
Yeah, was his first plan to make it into guns and ship.
Yeah,
and then his second
and then he's
plan,
like, fuck, I lost Zola, but he left this portal thing here. I guess we could get that going.
Marvel and its portals, dude. The Tesseract and the portals. Look at this. I was wondering what was going to come out of this. What did you think of what came out of it?
It's crazy. It's like some fucking... It reminded me of Hellboy.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought of too.
What were they called? But they're the great old ones from Cthulhu mythos.
Yes. The ones that come down in the first one, and
yeah. And this is just phenomenal. He just immediately gets killed.
Yeah, they kill Red Skull.
just
Loved it.
crush him with the tentacle. Yeah, crunch. Whoa!
Maybe we need a plan. Yeah.
Stark was right. Indestructible. Indestructible.
Steve. On a mission that was incorruptible. Whatever it is.
I'm Steve Rogers and I'm incorruptible. There you go.
Look at him get back in there.
Get back in that thing.
He's probably beat to shit. Why didn't like Dum Dum Dugan get in there, and they get Steve home and get him safe?
Because the whole thing about the Marvel Cinematic Universe up to this point is that any dickhead can get one of those suits and know how to drive it.
It's true.
Whether it's Rhodey or
I love how it falls.
James Badge Dale's character, that asshole in Iron Man 3, getting into the
Iron Patriot.
And then, I guess, fucking president didn't even know how to use it. I mean, he was suspended on those cables. All he had to do was flex an arm, and he would have been able to snap out.
Yeah, right?
Like, they didn't remove the power source from it.
That's a good point. Fucking Guy Pearce, dude.
Fucking Guy Pearce, dude.
Just can't handle being a villain.
You gotta bully him, dude.
Oh, they broke the Norse slab.
Oh.
I know, man. So much beautiful art. Oh, here we go.
It makes me wonder if the Red Skull thought he was going to get something Asgardian.
Yeah.
And then he ended up opening a portal to like whatever part of the universe the great old ones are on.
Yeah. Okay, I see what you mean there. Because he definitely was like he knew about Asgard. There's no doubt about it. Look at her go with that sword. I love that they gave her. They gave her
a sword. Yeah,
she's like a knight, because she's British. She's
British.
A knight.
She's like Joan of Arc with British tea.
That's right. Haley Atwell should play Joan of Arc.
Let's go.
Make the movie.
I mean, yeah.
I'm into it.
Because, I mean, if you go and watch The Passion of Joan of Arc from 1920, whatever the fuck, the movie that really introduced and proliferated close-ups in film technique.
Is that true?
It is, and it's a very long, drawn-out movie because of those close-ups, dude.
They just didn't know how to do it.
And it's all about building to like these people telling her to repent and say that she's not fucking hearing God and stuff, and then she just gets burned at the stake at the end.
Yeah.
You know, the Joan of Arc story.
That's what we do to our heroes.
Yep.
Oh, there's the mouth.
Ooh, yummy.
There's the Sarlacc mouth.
It's very loud.
It is.
Very loud.
I also
mouth.
like how in any given shot with the Howling Commandos, there's one that's always missing.
Right.
They never have all 5.
They never.
They always have
them all.
4.
Yeah.
But they don't have all 5.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I see each of them. You know. At first I thought, you know, I'm from Fresno. Ace wasn't in it, but he's right there.
Right.
So he's definitely around. And then the French one's gone sometimes.
Right.
Freaking. Come on, Howling Commandos, stay together.
From Fresno, Ace.
Do you think Peggy would have been a higher level of command before she became a captain? I don't know. She was more of an agent, right?
Yeah, that was what he said. Was he's like, you know, you're an agent. You're not prepped for field combat. She goes, yeah, how about captain? That sounds better.
It's better. I like the ring of that. Ironic.
You owe me a dance lesson. Yes.
Aw.
Next Saturday night.
This got me, man.
I know.
At 8 a.m. watching it.
It got me
I was
too.
almost like,
oh God.
Because we know,
see,
you
look,
know?
He got caught in the exploder.
Oh, and he lost an arm? No.
No, he's right there.
Yeah,
I mean, he's not
cool.
going to be the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, his legs work better than when he got shot. I don't know. It's that's the thing that makes First Avenger good. I mean, there's a lot of things, but the thing that really made me like appreciate it and not go like, this is one of the lower ones, was seeing that arc fulfilled and just like knowing that this is the beginning of the journey. Cap going back to Peggy is that's the bookends of the Avengers universe, right?
Right.
There's something.
Yeah,
very
here we
comforting
go.
to
It's
that.
recreation of the first sequence in the Avengers.
Please put down the spear.
I thought he said scepter, but he said spear.
I think so.
I think he said spear.
Yeah.
Please put down the sword.
Yeah, right. They get Samuel out.
Yeah, they get both him and Jeremy Renner to do a line.
Though I bet you they'll
That's
have.
Captain Carter.
Oh yeah, Jeremy Renner knows.
J. Renz.
He knows because she's a nomad.
She's a nomad.
Almost 70 years ago. Wow, you're old.
Oh.
Yeah, you gotta go visit Steve at a nursing home. He's waiting for you.
He's just like the thing from SpongeBob where it's like just the head and spinal cord. He's just that skinny. What?
Yeah, I don't know if Steve would have made it to that age. It just seemed like malnutrition.
And also his wild amount of ailments.
I know.
From flat foot to asthma to like anything, you name
You
it.
name it. Steve's got it.
Yeah, he probably had tuberculosis after the war, you know?
And there goes the
There it
Watcher.
is, the
saying
Watcher.
Her one choice led to a whole new history.
I also hope they cast Jeffrey Wright in like a live action role.
Yeah, I think they need to. Like, this is a cool way to do the Watchers. Like, the Watchers are one of the ones that could easily be, like, kind of weird and like, if you don't know what to do with them.
Well, and I mean, the only live action appearance you had him was when they were talking to Stan Lee in Guardians 2.
Which is just like a one-off thing.
Yeah, and they weren't even talking to him. They were just listening to Stan Lee talk about all his cameos. Based on the Marvel comics.
No, I'm super into it, man. I'm super stoked to see where they go with this, and I think this is a show that will run for many, many seasons.
Oh, yeah, and I think...
and the more movies they do, the more material they're going to have.
Oh, and I think, I mean, this is just, of course, pipe dream level shit.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the exact kind of thing that can get fans like us in on the ground floor if we pitch a strong enough what-if scenario.
Yeah, exactly. And have fun with it,
Exactly.
Like doing, Venom Deadpool, if you can combine those characters in the MCU. But yeah, no.
Well, animated Venom is on the table.
Yeah?
Because he's in the series on all the Disney Plus shows. Or, the Disney XD shows.
Good point. Oh,
Yes,
shit.
sir.
It's done.
Well, that's the thing, is like, Sony, the only things they really have the full rights for, are, as far as Spider-Man goes, is film and video games.
Mm-hmm.
So, everything else Marvel has.
Interesting.
You know?
So like a TV show, a cartoon TV show.
You never know.
Like already here, we're seeing Marvel Zombies. It looks like they're going to do like an actual like Age of Ultron type arc. They're going to do Gamora becoming Thanos. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, man. Next week's episode is what if T'Challa became Star-Lord.
yeah. Oh, that's going to be
And
a tough
then the
one.
third one is going to be the Loki one, it looks like.
The Loki one?
From the trailers where it's like Loki and like leading the army or whatever. I think it's like
Oh,
what
yeah.
if Loki presented himself to Earth government as the king of Asgard using all his diplomacy.
So instead of like trying to take it over,
He tried to reason with them.
Yeah, interesting.
And the second to last episode is zombies, and then the last episode is the Doctor Strange one, which I think that's the point they're trying to do is connect it to Multiverse of Madness.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh.
Shall we transition over and talk about this trailer?
Let's do it.
And whether or not it's legitimate.
I'm incredibly fascinated by this.
I am too.
Yeah.
Because I was scrolling through Facebook, and I mean, I know that this next Spider-Man movie, No Way Home, is planning on being like really the thing that kicks off this multiversal crisis. You know, it's really where it's gonna present itself in the MCU, because Doctor Strange is gonna be in it. You know, we got Alfred Molina, we got Jamie Foxx, and they just will not tell us if Willem Dafoe, Andrew Garfield, and Tobey Maguire are confirmed coming back.
They reviews.
But
let's get Paul Giamatti in there.
I mean, why not?
Why not?
Get him in there.
Sinister Six in the multiverse. Let's do it.
Why not?
Okay, you've got enough villains. You could do it.
Exactly. But like the legitimacy of this trailer has us totally up in arms, because it doesn't look like your average fan-made trailer where they take shots of these actors, not even from a Spider-Man movie, and puts them together. I mean, like it has like shots with these guys, and if this is true, then I'm gonna flip shit. Yep. And I would say probably they're holding off on doing a trailer for Far From Home until Venom 2 comes out. I feel like Sony is going to be the one to have the one to sign off on the marketing and everything.
So that would be like September.
Yep. Which that's not too bad.
No, that's like Shang-Chi, Yeah. Shang-Chi's September 3rd, and I think isn't Venom like September 20th or something like that?
I believe so.
21st maybe. Ooh, I'm going to be yeah. I think that would make sense. Yeah, so are we going to watch? Yeah, okay.
So, let me restart it. Get it on there.
Oh no! Stupid phone.
No!
You want to know what's annoying is that
it sounds like documentary now.
I know, right?
Why is it doing that? Fuck.
I've started using, well, I mean, not started, but I've been using wired headphones a lot lately because all my wireless ones really, I need to get new ones. And when I use wired headphones, it like fucks up my phone. Like it'll like pause and like I can't start playing the song again unless I like pull out the cord and put it back in, or like I have to restart my phone sometime. Like, and I think it's the wired headphones because nothing else causes this problem.
Yeah.
So I think Apple is like, no, buy our wireless headphones. You can never use wired headphones again. And to that I say, fuck you, Tim Cook.
Fuck Tim Cook forever. All right, let's start this up. So with this trailer, I'll throw it up on the video version of this podcast. It looks like it's in a movie theater.
Yep. There's lots of Doctor Strangey type stuff.
Yep.
Swinging.
Tom Holland.
Yep.
That's a shot
that
with
is
the flash tops, and we haven't seen that shot. Andrew Garfield in the subway with this portals.
And then
Tobey Maguire.
He looks much older.
Yep.
There's Green Goblin.
Yep.
That looks
that
weird.
looks like the web of the universe.
Yep. And that looks like a new Doc Ock tentacle.
Yep.
And then
the three of them swinging together. It's like, how can I don't know, man. Like, that looks too legit.
I think it's real.
I really hope so.
I've watched a lot of the fan-made ones and been fooled many a time. But this one, because again, that...
Well, and also to put in the effort to make it look grainy, like somebody shot it with a camera in a theater.
Like, I've never seen... Like, that does not look like stuff from No Way Home, or Far From Home. It doesn't... Tobey Maguire, like we said, looks older. The Doc Ock tentacles look newer. And that Andrew Garfield stuff with the portal, like, how could you edit that?
Because there's no point in The Amazing Spider-Man 2 where he goes into that subway scene where he's looking just at the wall like that.
Exactly. And I think, like, it looks like he's stepping towards the portal, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's legit.
I really hope so, dude. And I'm so here for it.
And that's, like, a little bit of the trailer. You know what I mean? Like,
that was like somebody was in the theater if this was legit. It was just like, oh my God, I gotta...
Like, that's just the part where it's like, oh, these three are in it. You know what I mean? And so you don't have, like, any of the setup stuff.
You didn't see Jamie Foxx, but you did see the clip of Green Goblin from the first Spider-Man movie. And, dude,
I'm in.
I'd be so stoked. So
I was like, that makes me not interested in
yeah,
it.
it's like gross.
Very disappointing.
And the Tom Holland being wrapped up in those tentacles. I mean, like I was just telling you before we hit record. I mean, those tentacles kind of look like the Doc Ock tentacles from the Spider-Man game, except not, because the tips of those claws were all glowing yellow. In this one, that didn't look like they were. And I mean, you can play with Tom Holland's suit on, however, not for that boss fight.
To another point,
That actually reminded me, you can't wear Tom Holland's suit for the boss fight. You get a special Ock fighting suit.
ooh, nice.
It's actually pretty cool.
And to that extent too, I mean, Alfred Molina looks older than when he was Doc Ock with those goggles back in the day.
And they might have de-aged him a little bit, but probably not all that much.
And they said they did, but like even then, like, and like with the green background, I can't remember a scene in Spider-Man 2 where there's like a bunch of green hues, you know what I mean? Yeah.
You know, and like that shot of him, it would have had that like sun thing in the background, you'd think.
You would think.
You would think. So I think it's legit, and I think we're getting the triple Spider-Man combo.
I think it's real.
And I fucking hope so,
And
dude.
who knows? Maybe they'll just like keep a portal at the end and Miles Morales. Miles Morales. Well, maybe he doesn't have to come from a portal because, like we talked about, Donald Glover is the Prowler, right? And he's his uncle. So maybe we just got little baby Miles right now who's going to grow up.
Well, okay, so what I hope this doesn't end with is like combining it completely, like removing Spider-Man from the MCU and leaving him in the Sony movie universe of Spider-Man characters.
That'd be a pretty
of
shitty
Marvel
way for it to
characters.
go. Yeah.
Yeah, Marvel characters.
That would make more people angry than the people that didn't really understand the end of Infinity War. You know what I mean? Like, that almost got people to like fall off, but it was tantalizing. It's like, how are they going to fix this? This obviously is a plot thing. This would be a clear Sony going like, thank you. And I would rage.
Yeah, but he is
Rage
also,
against the machine.
Tom Holland is also actually up for one more crossover movie.
Right.
One more Spider-Man movie to round up the trilogy, and then one more crossover, like, event movie.
Yeah. They would be so stupid to pull it out of the MCU.
And
I just can't
talked about it.
emphasize
I mean,
how
even with
greedy
the
and
Spider-Man
stupid.
games, like they have enough in just Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery that he can have his own franchise, much like the Nolan Batmans, the Matt Reeves Batmans that's coming out, the Batman animated series even.
You can.
You can, but why would you
It doesn't
when
mean
you
you
could?
should.
Like
Because
the
you-
Spider-Man animated series from the 90s, he crosses over with the X-Men animated series, the Fantastic Four. I mean, they do Secret Wars straight up on Battle World with, like, you know, Captain America, Iron Man, you know, from their respective animated series. And, like, that's so cool. Why would you just chop off an entire section of what you could be doing?
Amy Pascal and Avi Arad are just greedy motherfuckers, so.
Yeah,
I'm
and
gonna
I
blame them
guarantee you
specifically.
neither of them orchestrated the deal.
No. And I'm
You
gonna,
know?
and they may not be the ones
So
behind
it's like
this,
they can't
but-
be like, I have not worked my entire life to focus on Spider-Man to have it taken away by the mouse.
Yeah.
The House of Mouse will not take my life's work. And it's like, is it your life's work, or did you just buy Stan Lee's life work because he was in a bad spot in the late 90s?
And I have no sympathy for them nor Marvel because both pull in billions of dollars every year. You know what I mean? So like neither of them can be like, well, I guess Marvel can kind of be like, you're screwing us out of this, but like also they don't really need the money.
Marvel is the one who makes the movie.
Exactly. Like we talked about, it's basically like saying, here, make me this food and then pay me for eating it. That's what Sony's doing.
Yeah, it's like...
Because we saw the restaurant and we invested in it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like whenever something you see that's licensed out, like an NFL team is like, or the latest one that I've seen is those what is it, the Dr. Squatch bars of soap they keep advertising on the internet. It's like all natural soap or whatever, but lately they've been advertising that they're doing like a Star Wars rollout, and I'm like, so I know for a fact that Dr. Squatch had to probably pay them for that licensing, but that would be like Star Wars being like, we're having a bad time in the soap division, man. We gotta make something happen. This Dr. Squatch guys, they seem to be doing pretty good. we'll hit them up. We'll
do
let them, cross over with us, and then we'll take all their profits.
Yes, exactly.
From the product they're making. We'll just give them the skin, the packaging, basically,
Right.
and then take all their money.
Because it's ours.
That's so fucked. The licensing doesn't really work like that. Sure, they'll pay you for the license, for sure, but they don't pay you the profit they made off of your license.
Right.
Like, there's a flat rate usually.
I think we're going to be okay.
Like, that's why music is so expensive in movies, which, like we were talking about with Suicide Squad, I can't believe how much money they probably spent on all those fucking songs in the first half of that movie. Oh my God, just needle drop after needle drop after needle drop. But it costs so much, and it makes sense because they're using somebody else's art within their art, and they're going to make all the profits off of it. So they have to make it worthwhile for the music artist.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But, man.
Well, I don't think Tom Holland would allow it, and you can't make these without Tom Holland. And I bet you Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are both like, we got really fucking unlucky. We had to do the Sony thing,
Yeah.
Like, they probably are doing this Marvel movie, and they're like, this is so much better.
It would have been way cooler if we could meet Doctor Strange.
Yeah, like if we could.
Instead of being like a soft reference in J. Jonah Jameson's office in Spider-Man 2, where they're trying to come up with Dr. Octopus. And he's just like, what about Doctor Strange? And then J. Jonah Jameson, because it was Ted Raimi, he's like, Doctor Strange? He goes, that's a good one, but it's taken. So it's like he calls out that Doctor Strange exists in the Spider-Man 2 universe.
Sam Raimi's doing Doctor Strange too.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, and that's perfect because then he knows. Oh, we're good, dude.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fine.
I could see a world posited in which Sam Raimi, after getting hired for Doctor Strange 2, and then catching wind of the ideas that they're trying to do with Spider-Man No Way Home and everything, he came to Toby. He's like, they actually have a really good idea.
This could work.
This could really work.
Maybe
and I think that's
finally-
the only thing, because Andrew Garfield got fucked. He
Yeah,
got absolutely
big time.
fucked by the studio.
Worse than anybody.
Yeah, because like they were going to give him a trilogy and do Sinister Six and do that. Like, dude, he got fucked because the studio did exactly what they did. They did not learn their lessons from Spider-Man 3.
If anything, they got worse because at least Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2 are good movies and Spider-Man 3 stinks.
Yeah.
But then
and even in Spider-Man 3, there's character development for all the villains.
Exactly.
Like, even though Venom takes up maybe 5 minutes of screen time, all the Eddie Brock stuff was developed throughout the movie.
Yeah, big time.
Spider-Man 3 is not a god-awful movie. Neither is X-Men The Last Stand.
The Amazing Spider-Man 2
Is a god-awful movie.
is a god-awful
Like,
movie.
you don't feel bad for Jamie Foxx at all, except for after the beginning. But once he falls into the eels and everything and then wakes up, you're just like, oh, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
And then Harry Osborn out the gate, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
And then
He's just not interesting.
Right.
Neither of them are interesting.
right.
Like,
and then Rhino, they just turned him into a cartoon character.
yeah.
They're
Rhino's
like,
not even in it.
like that was my favorite thing from the press tour with Paul Giamatti was him being like, yeah, I just get to have fun with this really hammy Russian accent. And I'm sure it was just like, Mark Webb on set. He's like, hammier! You're a cartoon!
You're not actually Russian. You're pretending to be Russian as the character.
Get off of here, spider! Spider!
Oh, man. Good stuff.
Yep.
Good stuff.
I think that'll do it for us here over at DMT Reviews. I mean, I'd like to hear people's feedback, but we don't really get much feedback about doing the commentaries, but I think we're going to try and pivot and do that.
I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
I thought it went well.
And I mean, depending on the movies, it'll just be like, these will be longer podcasts. But we'll have plenty more to talk about the movies because it'll be presented in front of us instead of us trying to remember everything that happened.
Right, exactly. And we can comment on it as it goes. And also, we're just guys. We're having fun.
We're just guys being dudes.
Yeah, it's just... No, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, once again, like, rate, subscribe. Like, seriously, it really would help us a lot with growing this podcast. We love doing both of these every week, and we'd love to see it grow and find a more expanded audience because the people who listen consistently seem to enjoy it. Just keep spreading the word and the love, and DMT Studios on YouTube needs some attention, and otherwise, email us, dmtpcast@gmail.com. We do have suggestions from friend of the show, Jacob Beta, for, whenever we hit a drought with Marvel stuff, we can watch things and talk about them. But it doesn't seem like we're going to hit a drought for the next 6 months.
Seems like the pedal is back to the metal, my friend.
Yeah. And it's because we're getting 2 years worth of Marvel in 6 months.
I'm with it.
And, we're going to be just pretty much that.
That's right.
For a while. Yeah, I think otherwise, Best Worst Cantina. Check out our merch. Check out all the other contributing artists on there. And take it sleazy. Mayor McCheesy.
Love you guys.